Hey guys, hope you're all having a fantastic day out there so far, and thank you for joining me in today's lesson video. So today I'm going to talk about lush chord voicings and chord progressions that can sound really interesting and creative to help you break out of those, boxes or ruts we feel stuck in when we're learning. So this is the type of lesson video that's more for like the intermediate player, right? And in my opinion, that's somebody that already knows like their bar chords, right? Like what key these chords are built out of. Your basics on, 5th or 6th string. You're familiar with, major 7 chords, minor 7 chords, dominant 7 chords. And again, you can play those on the 6th and 5th string equally. So, major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, etc. So you should have most of those down and know exactly what chords you're playing on what fret and so on, right? But again, that's just my opinion. If you don't have those down but you still want to continue, obviously you can. You just might get a little confusing. So here's a progression I want to show you, and I'm going to first show you it in a really basic, kind of, boring way, and then I'm going to show you the more lush version and what we changed to make it lush and more ambient. So I'm going to start off with a F minor 7 chord. Okay, so this is really basic stuff. From there, I'm going to be going to a B flat minor 7 chord. Okay. Here, I'm going to go to this E flat minor 7. And then I have this A flat, dominant 7 chord, resolving to C sharp major 7. Okay. So to make this more lush, I'm not going to make like crazy triads or anything, which you totally could do. You could make all these weird, voicings you want, but we're not going to do that in this video. We're going to keep it simple, think in terms of the boxes we just played, and just alter a couple things. So F sharp minor 7. I'm going to just move this 5th degree over with my pinky here. So now you could think of this in some terms as, a sharpened 5th, but I'm looking at it more like a flat 6 from the minor scale, because in the minor scale, root, 2nd, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6. Okay, so root, flat 6, flat 7, minor 3rd, 5th on top. Okay, really pretty, really lush, really ambient sounding, and all that changed was I moved the 5th here, right, to the flat 6. And that works because we already have the 5th on top, so there's no reason to duplicate it, right? It's just like, why? It's just an octave. Here, you've heard me use this chord a lot. Really pretty, really relaxing and lush sounding to me. Okay, going over here now. This is that B flat minor 7 chord, right? Root, 5th, flat 7, minor 3rd, okay, or flat 3rd, 5th, root. So a lot of octaves just kind of repeating. But again, I'm going to apply that same concept of just what can I change in this area to make it more lush sounding. Again, flat 6. So if this is my root and I'm playing the scale, 1st, 2nd, or 9th, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6. And now I have combining these together. Now you're starting to sound really ambient and lush, all because we added that flat 6 in there. A small change from that to that can make progression sound really interesting. Now, the next thing I like to do here, and this is a progression that I wrote myself. I don't want to say like it's something fancy. It's not like, I wrote something cool. It's just something I came up with one day, and so I'm sharing it with you guys. But instead of playing, which would be normally a minor 7 chord here, an E flat, I'm going to play an E flat sus4 with an added 13th or 6th. If we can kind of see that. It's a little awkward. I'll throw it up on the screen. Okay, really, really pretty chord. I love that chord. I love suspended chords in general. So as you know, suspended chords, meaning we're just not playing the third degree, replacing it with a fourth or second, in this case the fourth. Okay, so I have root, sixth, which is the 13th, right? I have my seventh, or flat seven, sorry, in this case, or minor seven. Then here on the top, okay, we're adding that fourth degree. Because remember, the flat third would be here, major third, fourth, so here we go. So yeah, that again is an E flat, right? That's our root there, E flat. And this is a sus4 with the added 13th in there. Okay, and there's a lot of ways you can name that chord. You can just even say just E flat sus and then 13 next to it, but it's, I think, a little more ambiguous, so I like saying it like in full context, like, hey, it's a sus4 chord with the added 13. Okay. I could do the same chord down here. This is a little stretchy, sorry about that. You can blame Holdsworth. I took inspiration from him and Johnson for these chord stretches. Okay, and this is the same thing we just did, but in A flat now. So instead of playing the A flat dominant 7 chord, I'm going to play the A flat, okay, suspended fourth. So right, we're suspending and adding the fourth, and then we're going to be adding the 6th in as well, or 13th in this case. So again, it's A flat, okay, sus4 at 13. Walking down to A dominant, or sorry, A flat dominant 7. Can't talk. So here, this A flat sus4 at 13, moving into same box, just moving your fingers over to that A flat dominant 7 chord. And then we could resolve here still to C sharp major 7, or we can play a C sharp add 9, or sorry, major 9. Okay, C sharp major 7 or C sharp major 9 chord. Both work really well. Sometimes I even like just to resolve into something that wouldn't really generally fit in diatonic terms, make it a minor instead, so C sharp minor 9. So the context of that now would be and then you can walk into a bunch of stuff from there. But if I was to resolve into minor now, so let's try that again. So that kind of works in some sense, but you know, it's a little different. So it depends what your ear likes. But the whole point is what we can do with these chords. Now, we don't have to think about anything complicated. You know, some people get really crazy with chords, and there's a lot of stuff you can do. Sure, you know, you've seen me do some crazy stuff before. Stuff like, you know, this. Right? Which sounds nice too, but sometimes simple is best. And it's funny, you know, you just take a simple shape like the minor 7, switch out the 5th for the flat 6, and boom, suddenly have a really pretty sounding chord. Or even just making these suspended 4 chords with the added 13th. Now you sound really, really nice. And I'm not playing a progression that's that weird when you think about it. Right, it's resolving back to this C sharp. So technically that's the key I'm in, right? If you were to think of it, 1, 2, 3, I'm playing the 3 chord, okay? And then I'm going into my 6 chord, 2 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord. All right, so you can think of it as a 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Originally, that's the original progression. The only difference is I'm, you know, altering, you know, what chords I'm playing. So instead of minor 7, it's minor 7 with the flat 6, minor 7 flat 6, suspended 4 with added 13th. Same thing here. Dominant 7 back, or minor 9, however you want to do it. So hopefully this will give you some new ideas. Now, whenever you're playing a chord, you can experiment, and you should experiment, because that's how you get really good at memorizing like your intervals and how chords are built and all that good stuff, right? So if I'm playing like an A major 7, that's great and all. We don't really need the 5th, so I could, you know, sharpen that 5th. It's major 7 sharp 5 chord now. And by the way, if you guys don't know your intervals that well, like on the neck, if you can't just pinpoint exactly what interval you're playing from the root of the chord, you know, if you can't like see like, oh, hey, root 7, 3rd, right, 5th, that's something you should definitely work on, because it makes your chord building skills a lot better, and you're playing a lot better, especially for leads. Or let's say I do a flat 5th in here, major 7 flat 5th. Kind of pretty. And then you have these other kind of like more common voicings, right? These minor add 9 chords are really pretty. Major versions. That's where you hear like the every breath you take type thing. That kind of thing. Anyways. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Be sure to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you have any favorite chords you're currently working on? Have you ever like just come across a really cool chord and said, man, that's my vibe, I like that chord a lot? I'd love to hear about it. If you want to learn more from me, you sure can. I do offer private one-on-one lessons via, you know, Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, pretty much all major platforms. And if you don't want to take lessons, but you just want to get some of the information that I have a lot of free lessons in my playlist, and I also have a Patreon you can join for $5. Some of the upper tiers give you some other really cool benefits and perks too. But all right, guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.